prove me wrong. Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to.
Picture this. You walk into a room, see a guy who looks like you cloned yourself on a budget printer, and your reaction is denial. That's Jay-Z's whole game plan. People are calling it disrespectful. And honestly, they're right. You don't need Ancestry.com when the dude's jawline matches yours like a carbon copy. This ain't random universal selection. This is Photoshop level copy-paste.
And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then...
If you're loving the tea, don't forget to drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Denying it makes Jay look less like a mogul and more like that drunk uncle at Thanksgiving yelling, "That ain't my baby," while everyone else is staring at a toddler with the same exact nose. Respectfully, Hav, either take the test or stop acting like the universe is trolling you with a Jay-Z doppelgänger. There's a playbook in Hollywood thicker than a Chick-fil-A sauce packet. Deny the baby, dodge the test, then Houdini yourself into silence. And Jay-Z, he's running it like a greatest hits album. Fans are calling it predictable, same script. New cast. It's giving déjà vu.
Coming from they're just in pain. You got to survive. So you go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what happened? You shut down.
Meek Mill even tossed Will Smith's name in the mix. Because why not? Chaos loves company. And when every celebrity scandal follows the same rerun pattern, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a group chat rule. Like, do they all get a manual at the Grammy after party? Congrats on your award. By the way, if a kid pops up, deny, deny, deny.
Testosterone ain't up like yours.
Jay-Z's lawyers can flex all they want, but let's be real, the streets are running the real trial. Fans are out here with timelines, photo collages, affidavits, and TikTok conspiracies. It's basically CSI Twitter edition.
A Beyonce and Jay-Z divorce announcement in 2025. It's officially gone too far. It's too much.
Courts might defend Jay, but the internet doesn't need subpoenas. It's got side-by-sides of Rymir and young Hav that scream case closed. And once the group chats get hold of something, forget it. No NDA in the world can stop Auntie WhatsApp University from forwarding your scandal to the whole block. Judges might silence a case, but memes are eternal. Hip-hop has more secret kids than a daytime soap opera. Drake tried to hide Adonis like he was a Marvel end credit scene. 50 Cent is obsessed with every beef like it's his side hustle. And Diddy, don't even start. Jay-Z's alleged baby saga isn't shocking, it's tradition. But the difference? Jay built an empire on loyalty, family, and I got the baddest chick. If Rymir's story sticks, that empire cracks like a dropped iPhone screen.
And would you still want Jay-Z to take a paternity test?
I mean, I would, but that would have to be his choice. I can't force anyone to take a paternity test.
Hip-hop scandals always hit messy, but this one, it's threatening to rewrite the entire Carter brand. And that's why, imagine waking up to find out your motivational playlist is actually a mixtape of lies. That's the Titan rumor in a nutshell. For decades, Jay-Z sold us the narrative. Survivor of the struggle, family man, billionaire genius. The blueprint, the dream. But if this kid really is his, that narrative flips harder than a mattress on moving day. Suddenly, Jay isn't the hustler who turned rags into riches. He's a world-class deceiver with a side hustle and emotional fraud. Fans built shrines to the Carters. They weren't just a power couple. They were the first couple of hip-hop royalty without crowns. The marriage was supposed to be the proof that love, loyalty, and hustle could coexist at the highest level. But if Titan is real, that shrine turns into a crime scene. Every framed photo looks staged, every lyric feels suspicious, and every red carpet smile feels faker than a reality show storyline. And Beyonce, she becomes the biggest question mark of all. Suddenly, Lemonade isn't about Becky with the good hair, it's about Beyonce sipping iced tea while her entire reality crumbles around her. Fans start reinterpreting the visuals, replaying every note like it's a hidden cry for help. Did she know? Did she not? Either way, Flawless now has cracks. The plot twist is so wild it borders on surreal. This isn't just messy, it's too messy. It's the kind of storyline even Shonda Rhimes would push back in the writer's room. Nah, too far-fetched. No one would buy that. But here we are, in 2025, watching the internet piece together affidavits, memes, and timelines like it's season 6 of Scandal. If Titan is real, the Carter Empire doesn't just wobble, it topples. And when an empire falls, the world doesn't just mourn, it rewrites history. The Carters sold us unity. They sold us strength. They sold us loyalty for years. They were hip-hop's Obama and Michelle, the couple that made marriage look like both a power move and a love story. Every photo op, every tour, every Grammy acceptance speech painted them as untouchable. But if Rymir's claims stick, those family photo albums start looking less like keepsakes and more like props for a Netflix drama. Think about Destiny's Child. That group wasn't just marketed as a girl band, it was marketed as a sisterhood.
I feed and do something, I can't wait on the world. Like, I can't say, I can't wait on anybody to take nobody not saying nothing. Like, it's not fair.
Beyonce and Kelly Rowland weren't just best friends. They were branded as sisters in arms. But now, fans are rewatching old interviews where Kelly quietly slipped out of dinners in tears, wondering if she knew something the rest of us didn't. What if the cracks were always there, hiding in plain sight? The perfect marriage narrative might be as staged as a WWE fight. Flawless choreography, scripted moves, and an audience that wants to believe. But behind the curtain, the story could be far messier. And the cruel irony? Jay-Z built his career on avoiding embarrassment. He dodged beef with nays until it couldn't be dodged. He ducked diss tracks like they were bullets. He perfected the art of control. Yet now, his biggest diss track might not come from a rival rapper. It might come from his own DNA. Savage doesn't even cover it. If the test proves Rymir right, it wouldn't just dent the Carter dynasty, it would rewrite it. Every lyric, every love song, every Lemonade visual gets reinterpreted. Fans wouldn't just be questioning Jay's loyalty, they'd be questioning the entire mythology of the Carters. And in pop culture, that's the deadliest blow of all. Not a scandal, not a lawsuit, but the collapse of the story people believed in. For 2 decades, Beyonce has been untouchable. Every photo curated, every rollout immaculate, every scandal deflected with a hair flip and a perfectly timed tour announcement. She is the blueprint of image control. But what happens when Flawless gets hit with Maury-level drama? If Beyonce knew about Titan all along, then she deserves an EGOT and a new award category called Lifetime Achievement in Emotional Performance. Because that means every smile, every handhold, every PDA moment on red carpets was an act worthy of Meryl Streep in Big Little Lies. To pull that off for years without a single slip, that's not just strength, that's next-level stagecraft. But if she didn't know, then she's suddenly just like us, jaw-dropped, scrolling shade room comments at 2 a.m., piecing together timelines, wondering if the internet detectives are actually onto something. That version of Beyonce is far less queen and far more human, which some fans might sympathize with, but others will see as a crack in the diamond. Either way, her reputation takes a hit. This is a woman who built an empire on resilience, turning heartbreak into art lemonade, betrayal into performance fuel, on the run and vulnerability into empowerment. But this storm, it could make even her iconic lemonade taste sour, because fans aren't just listening to the music anymore, they're decoding it, dissecting every lyric like it's Morse code for heartbreak. Was that line in Sorry about Jay's infidelity, or was it foreshadowing something bigger? Was Ring Off a message to her mom or a mirror to her own marriage? For once, Beyonce is not in control of the narrative, and that's uncharted territory for someone who has built her career on perfection. Every time Rymir opens his mouth, Jay-Z's camp dusts off the same tired excuse. He just wants money. Bruh, that narrative is older than dial-up internet. Like AOL chat room old, and here's the kicker. Rymir's lawsuit doesn't even ask for money, not a dime. The man literally said he'd never take a settlement for silence. He's not chasing the bag, he's chasing the truth. That's where Jay's PR spin starts to collapse. The gold digger script falls apart after 5 seconds of fact-checking. The optics are brutal. A billionaire mogul painting his maybe son as a clout chaser, while the kid's been saying the same thing for over a decade. Just give me a DNA test. If this is clout chasing, it's the slowest, most unprofitable chase in history. And the consistency? Chef's kiss. No remixes, no ad-libs, no DJ Khaled another one moments. Just one steady chorus since 2015. Jay-Z is my father. If this were a lie, wouldn't he have slipped up by now? Changed his story? Fumbled a detail? Instead, Rymir's narrative is more consistent than Beyonce's choreography, flawless, locked in, and impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Jay's side is out here spinning excuses like a DJ at a frat party. First it's, he wants money, then it's, this isn't real, then it's no comment. The energy is dodgeball at championship level duck, weave, repeat. The contrast couldn't be clearer. On one side, a young man sticking to one narrative for 10 years straight. On the other, a billionaire mogul dodging harder than Mayweather in the ring. At this point, forget the Grammy jokes, Rymir deserves an award for endurance. Call it best performance in keeping the same energy. Because love him or hate him, the man hasn't budged an inch. And in an era where lies unravel in minutes, that kind of persistence speaks volumes. Rymir swears he'd never take money to stay quiet. Imagine walking past a billionaire's briefcase stuffed with cash and saying, "Nah, I'm good. I want a DNA test instead." That's like turning down Beyonce tickets because you'd rather watch your cousin's garage band. On paper, it makes zero financial sense, but in the court of public opinion, it makes the story even messier. Think about it. If this was about the bag, the saga would have been buried back in 2015. A fat settlement, some airtight NDAs, and we'd never hear Rymir's name again. But that's not what happened. Instead, we're here in 2025, still watching this soap opera unravel like it's the longest-running BET miniseries ever. Why? Because Rymir's not chasing commas, he's chasing closure. And the fuel behind it isn't greed. It's pure, stubborn, generational-level petty. And here's the thing about petty. It always wins. Money dries up, PR spins fade. Even the biggest scandals get replaced by the next headline. But petty? Petty lives forever. Petty is what makes fans screenshot old posts, dig up court filings, and blast timelines with receipts. Petty is undefeated because it doesn't stop when the cameras turn off. It's 24/7, running on fumes and principle. Jay-Z might have the lawyers, the empire, the dynasty, but Rymir's got something even scarier. The patience of someone who's been waiting his whole life to be heard. That's a level of persistence no check can cancel. And until that swab happens, Petty will keep the internet on his side. Because at the end of the day, you can buy silence, but you can't buy peace. And Rymir, he's not looking for hush money, he's looking for history to say his name. 50 Cent stays messier than a toddler with spaghetti. No bib, no napkin, just sauce everywhere. The man sees Lil Meech hanging around Rick Ross and immediately drops one of the pettiest roast bombs ever, Ross giving him scraps like Wingstop. Bruh, that's not shade, that's a full eclipse. Ross didn't even see the sun that day. This is classic 50. He doesn't just feud, he stages guerrilla warfare. The man has built an entire second career out of trolling, and honestly, he might be better at that than rapping at this point. It's not beef, it's demolition. He studies your weak spot, fires off the nastiest one-liner, and walks away grinning like he just rewrote the dictionary. And the beauty of it, he makes the entire world laugh while doing it. Even people who swear they're tired of 50's antics can't help but retweet. He's the villain you root for because the jokes are simply too good. Meanwhile, the hip-hop soap opera writes itself. Jay-Z's out here ducking DNA tests like they're subpoenas, Ross is tossing chicken wings like communion bread, and 50's sitting in the back with popcorn, turning generational family drama into stand-up material. At this point, forget the Versus stage, give this man a Netflix special. Title it Surviving 50 Cent, and let every rapper he's roasted sit down like it's a therapy session. The intro alone would break the internet. Rymir's mom, Wanda, says she met Jay-Z back in '92. A night that was supposed to be casual, allegedly turned into the stuff of court filings. Protection was reportedly used, but hey, condoms break. And so do reputations. Wanda claims that when she realized she was pregnant, she tried to reach out to Jay for acknowledgement, maybe even support. His response? Crickets. Silence so loud it echoed into decades. Fast forward more than 30 years, and here we are, still debating the fallout like it's the OJ trial of hip-hop. The players are different, not a bloody glove, but a cotton swab. Yet the energy feels the same, a public obsessed, a media split, and fans turning every scrap of detail into part of a larger cultural puzzle. The drama practically writes itself. A young woman, a rising rapper, a baby, and a lifetime of denial. And this isn't just gossip for the blogs. This is generational trauma wrapped in a Roc Nation hoodie. Wanda's story isn't simply about one night, it's about decades of silence, a son who grew up without answers, and a billionaire empire built while a possible child was left on the sidelines. Every ignored phone call, every unanswered letter, and every court attempt adds weight to the narrative. For Rymir, this isn't clout chasing, it's identity. It's a fight to prove that he exists in a world where the man he believes is his father has the money and power to erase him. The irony is brutal. Jay-Z has rapped for decades about family, loyalty, and rising above struggle. But this chapter threatens to paint him as the villain in his own story. If Wanda's affidavit holds water, and if Rymir's claims are true, then we're not just talking about a scandal. We're talking about the unraveling of an American empire built on the illusion of legacy and loyalty. One swab, one truth, one dynasty on the line. Social media is brutal, and it's already decided Rymir looks way too much like Jay-Z. Side-by-sides go viral daily. Same eyes, same lips, same "I just thought of $1 billion idea in the shower" expression. It's giving father-son realness. Of course, defenders rush in with the classic line, "Resemblance doesn't prove blood." True, but when the similarities are so loud you need noise-canceling headphones just to ignore them, people aren't buying coincidence. The memes write themselves. Copy and paste. Jay-Z 2.0. The Carter DLC. TikTok is flooded with edits that drop Rymir's face next to Jay's, while dramatic music booms in the background. And at this point, if Rymir showed up at the Roc Nation brunch, half the guests would hand him a champagne flute and call him cousin. But looks are just the appetizer, the affidavit is the main course. This is where things get spicy. Wanda's sworn statement doesn't just float around as some random claim, it lines up almost perfectly with Jay-Z's early grind years. The overlap is eerie. We're talking about the exact window when Sean Carter was hustling out of Brooklyn, climbing from street corners into studio sessions. Every date, every location, every detail clicks together like puzzle pieces you can't unsee. Fans online aren't letting this slide either. They've basically turned into unpaid detectives. Reddit threads look like FBI files, TikTok creators are dropping mini docs, and Twitter has turned into a digital courtroom. Some fans have even made timeline graphics, with red string connecting every event from Wanda's story to Jay's early career moves. The conclusion they're landing on? Either Wanda had the most unlucky timing in history, or Jay really was in the picture. The internet's verdict so far? Blood don't lie. And until that cotton swab shows up, Jay's silence is playing like a guilty plea on loop. Fans aren't just scrolling past this either. They've basically turned into amateur detectives. Twitter threads look like true crime documentaries, Reddit pages read like investigative journalism, and TikTok edits feel like Netflix trailers. Some fans have literally built timeline crime boards, with red string connecting events from the affidavit to Jay's early come-up. The dates sync too well to ignore. Either Wanda had the most unfortunate luck of all time, or Jay really was in the picture when she says he was. But Goliath owns Roc Nation, and David's stuck with Instagram Lives. Still, history shows the internet loves an underdog. And in this case, the streets are definitely rooting for Rymir. And let's not forget the culture. Hip-hop has always been about authenticity. You can't claim real while dodging real-life accountability. Fans aren't stupid, they see the double standard. When smaller artists slip up, the industry and blogs drag them for filth. But when it's Jay-Z, silence, protection, PR spin. That's why the internet is keeping Rymir's story alive. It's not about clout chasing, it's about exposing the imbalance of power. At the end of the day, one test holds the truth. Jay could shut this down in 24 hours, but he won't. And that silence? It speaks louder than any lyric he's ever written.